Hello, beings of planet Earth and beyond. I know this is the first time you're seeing me, but this is like the 20th time I've been trying to do this video properly. Okay, I got this, right? Today's video is on ley lines. Ley lines, like meridian lines in the body, like we were talking about like I was talking about in one of my other videos for pressure points, acupuncture points, and meridian lines in the body, of course. The globe has the exact same grid-like system of up and down lines around the globe. And this acts like a replica of our own third-dimensional holographic energy points. So on these energy pockets sit great wonders of the world, some natural, others natural. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'll give some examples like the Great Pyramids of Giza, Pyramid of Izta, Stonehenge, Bermuda Triangle, just around all of those natural wonders all sit on ley lines or meridian lines of the planet. So these same lines that are present in the body and the 12-point tree of life and the planet are exact replicas of each other. So the tree of life, our bodies, the planet, of course, they are all replicas. And in terms of macro and micro energetic fields, the world's energy grid expands throughout the unified energy layers that comprise planetary, galactic, and universal energy systems. So it's like an echo. If we're the smallest point of energetic fields, just as an example, then the planet would be the next bigger thing, and then galaxy, and then the universe. So it just kind of keeps going out like that. This collection of unified energy systems and consciousness make up the entire time and space field of multiple dimensions, as well as individual forms of awareness that live in the cosmic structure. So knowing this information and really diving deep into it brings a level of understanding of how everything is connected. And once you have that understanding of how everything is connected, you go from bi, which means two, polarity, to tri, three, polarity, which signifies unity. So, excuse me. So, our thoughts create a holographic grid program that represents itself in cycles and can be understood with sacred geometry. Comprised of vibration, frequency, and color, or sound, light, and color, or as Tesla had described how the universe is comprised of. So basically, through sound, light, and color, we experience the hologram through time and emotion. Now, in physical reality, the grids are electromagnetic, creating polarity, and in doing so, they seek balance. So creating polarity, creating black, white, male, female, and in doing so, creating such intensity from each side, it seeks to create balance. When we experience the process of healing, we create balance, increase our psychic abilities, and finally understand the nature of reality and where everything is headed naturally. Bam! All right. Ugh. Trying to get comfortable. Excuse me. So, reality is the evolution of consciousness in the alchemy of time. And what that means is in my last video, I was talking about school. We're all in class together. Where's the teacher? All the kids are running rampant and wild, and kids are fighting in the back. Little Jimmy's flicking boogers, You know what I mean? Like, but over time, we start to learn lessons that become invaluable to us and sometimes are the cornerstone of the decisions that we make for our futures. And that's kind of what it's talking about through the evolution of consciousness and the alchemy of time, meaning that we're in school. Our consciousness is constantly being changed through emotion, and the things that we experience, we become all the more wiser for it. And it's just a process. You can't skip a grade, but you can stay back. Anyway, this grid is the very fabric of the universe. It has no beginning, it has no end. And if you look at the grid vertically, you will see it makes a four-sided diamond like human DNA. This there's a train. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Sorry. What was I talking about? Right, the four-sided diamond like human DNA, showing the interwoven matrix of the universal essence. Now, in order for the matrix to have different levels of vibration or pitch, there must be a catalyst of some time. So, for the reason why the grid has this structure to it is because of certain variables or catalysts or certain things that make it have these specific shapes to it. And although the structure resembles human DNA, the different structural differences happen due to said catalyst. Thoughts and actions are two of these kinds of catalysts. Accordingly, there must be movement to affect change. Similarly, different laws affect the consciousness of the grid, such as balance, neutrality, and the immutable laws of the universe, or codes of energy that, once put into motion, cannot be stopped and must play out until the end of the program. How we experience these laws, is determined entirely by our own energy and vibrational patterns. These immutable laws cannot be stopped. They can be altered, their effects can be changed, but they cannot be stopped. And just kind of throw out some examples of immutable laws. The law of one: all things are made up of intelligent energy and are all part of the all one. And this kind of goes back to how everything is interwoven together. The macro, the micro, and even if you go down to sacred geometry, good Lord, the very structure, the very structure of how things are made. There's a pattern that you see. A lot of people see a lot of people have it like on pendants and stuff. The flower of life. I mean, these kind of things. They're not just things. They're specific patterns that people have seen throughout life. But anyway, I'm gonna try and get through the next page. Anyway, yeah, the law of one: all things that are made of all things are made of intelligent, maybe not this one. All things are made up of intelligent energy and are a part of the all one. There. I'm trying to enunciate. The law of compassion: to be compassion in action towards others is then to be in harmony and in right relationship to self. To love another is to love yourself. The law of intent. A lot of people love this law. Law of attraction is also not on my list, but I will do another video on the law of attraction. But there's still so many other things just to kind of clear up. Anyway, the law of intent: what we think is what we create through intent, consent, and structure. When we do not have intent, we have no consent, and the default is given to the energetic signature of us in thought, behavior, or action as aligned with the law of resonance. What is the law of resonance? I have no idea. I was short on time. So there are 13 natural laws, and you can read them. I have a copy. You can read them in the Kybalion. I am butchering that. It is a hermetic philosophy of the 13 laws of the universe, or natural laws of. So, I suppose I could do. I didn't want to write all of those 13 laws down. But hermetic philosophy is actually really interesting. One of them is about, I mean, they got like laws of attraction, law of gender, law of polarity, law of, they got like a bunch of different laws. And one of those laws is very interesting, the law of gender. God does not apply to the law of gender because God's, let's see, vibrational frequency. And I can say, I think that sounds right. God's vibrational frequency is so insurmountable that it is on a level higher than one of gender. And us being lower dimensional beings, at least in this physical form, we have to succumb to the law of gender. Because that's just the way of the universe. That's just how it works. But I suppose there could be specific beings out there that don't adhere to that law, besides God being one of them. So there's that law of polarity is in the physical realm. There's always laws of polarity, meaning yin yang, male, female, bad, good. And right now we're trying to kind of get out of that vibrational frequency and more, which is the third dimension line of thinking, to a more fourth dimension line of thinking, which is a little bit different from this, but the fourth dimensional line of thinking just being, I guess it's the same, just different names. Just, in line with unity. The fourth dimension is just about the collective. Third dimension is about the self, polarity. Third dimension is about being split. And that's where a lot of people are letting their egos and negative aspects of themselves run their life. I mean, we all do it to a certain extent, if we have bad habits and stuff, but a lot of the collective consciousness is into, materialism or buying stuff that strokes our ego, or, that's the kind of stuff, being led, like, through life by the ego for the self. And the fourth dimension, or what we were talking about in here earlier, which was not polarity but unity, which is the fourth dimension. It's definitely different. And then you have the fifth dimension, and the dimensions just keep climbing. And if you ever meet anybody who says that they're done with their enlightenment, they're lying. Or perhaps not on purpose. We often shouldn't let our egos determine our spiritual fates, because then it tends to be spiritual egoism or whatever it's called. But I mean, there's an infinite amount of levels of consciousness that we could actually attain and be a part of. So your search for spiritual enlightenment is never over. You're always constantly learning. You're always in school. You're never going to get out of school. Doesn't matter if you transfer from Earth school to Andromeda school, or, what's that blue star over with the two stars? What is that one over there? But you know what I mean. So Anyway, to just kind of wrap this up, because this video is running kind of long, there's one last thing that I was doing a little bit of research into. So there are 6 planetary grid networks that are consciousness source fields that feed into the ley lines. So these networks and their man, I said that wrong. Okay, hold on. There are 6 planetary grid networks that are consciousness source fields that feed into ley line networks and their many tributaries. I can't say that word. I can't talk today, apparently. Anyway, often the study of discussions, meditations, and treatments designed for architectural repair of these planetary consciousness networks. These combined projects are called PEG, or Planetary Emancipation Gridwork Projects. All community trips and progress are stewarded by the Crystal Star, or Christ Consciousness, and the threefold founder flame or FIM host of families that serve the Law 1, known as Planetary Ascension, Plan B, Mission Upgrades. So, I'm just going to keep it really simple. We are getting upgrades, updates, as we are flying through this rock, hurtling through space. We're getting vibrational frequency upgrades that are heightening our level of consciousness and awareness throughout our specific rotation through Sirius, or around Sirius, or around a star. The closer we get to this star, the higher our level of consciousness happens, and we hit a golden age of spirituality. And the farther we come around or away from the sun, the lower amount of vibrational frequency or level of awareness that we have. And what I just said, so these grid networks are being worked on. How do I say this? Because you can go 2 different ways with this. People are getting updates, universal updates, that are having them with the Christ consciousness and the effect that that's having on our vibrational frequency or our energy fields. And they're going out and they're repairing these grid lines. And the other part about this, the threefold founder flame Orifim. Now just look that up. ORAPHIM. That goes completely left of field. That goes, I know a lot of people aren't ready to talk about aliens, but man, that's talking about like the blueprint of the original of the originals, man. That like it's just crazy. So the way that I'm going to interpret this, just for sake of simplicity for this video, is we're getting upgrades for this specific time period, and certain people are going out trying to repair these architectural grids or source fields of consciousness that feed into the ley lines. They're trying to fix them based upon these updates that people are receiving over a period of time. And then there's these other the thing is an offensive word, beings that are also trying to help the planetary ascension plan with upgrades. So there you have it. Those are ley lines, and I guess based upon this, I need to do a video on the 13 natural laws. I've read the Kybalion. It's actually a very interesting read. Perhaps I can do a video about each law specifically, because they say that the meaning of the book changes. So it's like the Emerald Tablets. I'm pretty sure the Kybalion were the universal laws on the Emerald Tablets, right? Excuse me. And the laws, or the meaning of the laws, changes every single time you ascend to another level of consciousness. So that's an interesting thing. I mean, I got a bunch of different ideas and plans, and maybe I could talk more about these other laws here. Definitely Christ consciousness is going to be one of them. I just wasn't expecting 3 pages from just trying to do ley lines. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Huh. Yeah. Alrighty. Come here. Ooh, come say bye. Say bye, don't stick your butt. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Or not. I hope you all have a great night.